And I remember somebody telling me, I don't know who it was, but they're like, if it cannot be duplicated, it cannot grow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ecom Growth Show.
Do I say hi now or do I wait? I'm pretty much brain fried at this point.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ecom Growth Show. Today we have with us Johnny and Katie Apple of Apple Blvd out of Texas. And guys, we always talk about showing up to your audience and providing your customers with the utmost value. And we literally just kept pushing this podcast back a few minutes, like 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, because Katie was going live to her audience and just going above and beyond, giving value to the people that are drawn to their brand. It's just a super great example of how people could show up and create that person-to-person connection, even though we live in an online world. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Super stoked to hear a little bit more about you and your guys' story. Why don't we just kind of start from the beginning? Like, how did you guys get into this? And, I'd love to kind of share with where you guys are today and what's next for you guys, what's on the horizon. But for a lot of people, they don't even know like what it looks like to get started. So what did that look like for you guys?
Yeah, so for us, we actually, a lot of people have these dream situations where they started and they just grew so quickly. They just started, they hit the ground running and they grew. That was not our story. We actually started, for the first time we started a boutique was actually 10 years ago. When Facebook, I don't even know that Instagram was
social
around.
Media was really nothing. Groups were nothing.
Not a big deal. And we thought, we're going to do this boutique and we're going to sell on Facebook and we're going to hit the ground running. Well, people weren't on Facebook and they were like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to sell these clothes? And it was just an epic disaster. We were in business for, I think, 6 months.
Yeah. And then, and we actually dropped out of kind of the online stuff a little bit and just did like trunk shows, which was it was a mess, just going to house to house. And then we had our son and we said, let's just stop this.
Yeah, it was too much energy and we just weren't getting the right crowd. I just think the timing was off.
Totally. Yeah.
That's so good for people to hear though, because what you see on social media is rarely like super grounded in reality. And a lot of people think that starting an online store or like following in your footsteps is as easy as just like getting some clothes, launching a site, and then the sales start rolling in. And that's not the case. Like you guys, you've been at this for like, you said you started 10 years before the tools that you use today weren't even available. Right. So yeah, that's super good for people to hear because it just takes a lot of persistence in there. So what came after that?
Yeah,
I'll start this because I want to tell. She came up to me and she was just like, we've already had Jonah we had our son for 5 years and we had another son, Hudson, and she was just getting antsy. Like, what's happening here? I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom. I can't do this anymore. And so she was like, Johnny, can I take $3,000 and can I just go to market and buy some clothes? I feel like times are a little bit different. She had done some multi-level marketing with some things and she had a lot of legs going on with some connections and just people. And she really felt that like we could try this again and it'd work. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And she bought some. I think his
exact words actually were, I'll give you $3,000 and not another dime. Yeah, and don't ask me for any more money and I'm not helping you. I think those are his actual words.
Man, that's so good.
So we started, after he gave me the approval, we started and I went back to the front show route. Because I think a lot of people didn't know who I was. I believed, and I still do believe, that online shopping is difficult. I think that a lot of customers don't know their size. They don't know if they're a small, if they're a medium, they don't know. So for me, I wanted to go face to face and to really build up a local following. And so I would, my goal, I'm a very goal-driven person. I like to set a goal and hit it. And so my goal that first month was I want to do $10,000 in sales, and I'm going to do it by doing trunk shows. So if I can do $1,000 at each trunk show, I can hit my goal. So that was how I started. And I booked those 10 trunk shows. I basically called my friends, my mom's friends, anybody who was willing to host. And I just said, get as many people here. I'll give you a 10% discount on what we sell. If we sell $1,000, I'll give you $100 back in store credit. And we started that way, and it did exactly what I hoped it would do, is it built a following. And those people would say, well, where's your next trunk show? Like, I want to see what's next. So through that, we started to take pictures, put it on our website. We started with Shopify. Our website was janky at best.
Absolutely.
Johnny was taking the pictures. We were like standing in front of a tree because we thought it looked really woodsy. It was a thing. But, you know, the people that we had met at the trunk shows, we could give them a card and say, go to our website. And we did that for a year. And I managed to keep hitting my $10,000 a month, you know, goals. And I thought, okay, like, this is good. I'm doing good. What happened next was, it was New Year's Day. And I thought, everyone's sitting at home right now doing nothing. You know, people have been out the night before. Everyone just sits at home on New Year's Day. I thought, I'm going to get on Facebook and see what happens if I start selling things. So I made our group on New Year's Day and started just adding friends. And I got the biggest reactions ever. Everything I posted sold out. You know, people were just sitting there. And so they were shopping and buying. And I thought, okay, this Facebook group thing is something.
Manual invoicing. Like taking emails, putting it in, actually manually invoicing from our house and shipping from our house.
But it opened my eyes. I'm like, people are willing to do this time. So from there, we never looked back. We started,
and giveaways. And I think the thing that really took us up, like took it to the next level, was we started doing Louis Vuitton giveaways probably every other month. No, it was probably every like 4 to 6 months. We did like a Louis Vuitton giveaway, add your friends, all these little requirements. And then I remember the first time we hit like 50,000. And then I'm trying to think about when Comments Sold came in. I think we saw some vendors or some boutiques starting to use Comments Sold. Did we skip anything?
I remember you skipped a lot. But
I did. But
so we ended up getting our first warehouse, which I think is a huge thing to talk about. Because I always think I'm in a lot of these different boutique owner groups. And I see these questions and I'm like, oh, like I so remember being there where your house is full and you're like, I have to make that step of getting a space. And you're afraid because you're not used to any monthly payments. You know, you pay Shopify, you pay Comments Sold, whoever, but you don't have a big payment coming out. And so that was our first thing that we did when we got our warehouses. I was like, okay, this is serious now. Like
$1,500 a month.
Yeah, but I was
we were like, oh my goodness.
I was scared to death.
I know.
But having my space, I was like, okay, I can make this a thing. And so that's always my biggest advice is when you think you're ready, do it. Like getting that space is a game changer, because I think when you view your business as a business, like for me, I got out of my house and I was like, oh, this is a real business. Like I have a space with my name on it that says Apple Boulevard. I started to act that way. I started to act like I'm a business owner. Like I've got my space and this is real. You know, it's just not some mom in a house, you know? And so that was a big game changer for me to push me to the next level. We were actually in that space for a year, and there was another boutique in town and a couple warehouses down. And we were headed out to Vegas Market, one of the markets. And she said, why aren't you using Comments Sold? She's like, I see you all the time. Why are you still manually invoicing? And I was like, girl, I don't want to give away any more of my money. I'm good. Like, you go ahead with your Comments Sold. I'm good. And she's like, okay, I think you're making a mistake. And those words just like ran through my brain over and over and over and over again. And I just kept thinking, you know, because she said you could be using so much more of your time than sitting there and sending these invoices all the time. And so I couldn't stop thinking about it. I told Johnny, he made the call with Comments Sold, kind of like an onboarding call. And he's like, I think we got to do it. You know, like you should not be using your time. You should be using your time to buy. You should be using your time to make videos. You know, you should not be sitting here sending invoices. That's a waste.
Total waste of time.
And so another scary moment, because I didn't want to give up any of my business. Like, this is my baby. I don't want to give a percentage of sales away. Are you kidding? You know, especially in those early days, like every dime matters. But we did it. You know, I trusted him and his judgment, and we jumped on board with Comments Sold, and it is really, I would say, the biggest skyrocketer of our business by far. Are we allowed to talk numbers?
Yeah, totally. Before we go there, I just want people to catch this, because even in your like formative years, like as I want to reflect this back to you so people catch it, is when they were considering like how they can provide value to their market, she was already thinking like, people don't know how to shop online. She was already thinking of like her customers, what they need, what their problems were. But what I really want to point out is that coming with like a value first approach doesn't come at the expense of your own results. And it's this idea that when we come together and we transact in a way that's actually healthy, it's actually like really good for the world around us, because you're hitting your financial goals, you're building a business, but you're also providing a real solution to real people who are like, I don't know how to like get clothes right now, and I don't know how they're going to fit me if I go and buy it somewhere else. And so you're meeting them where they are, you know, whether it's New Year's Day, like they're not out and about shopping, they're not at a trunk show, but they still have the ability to get something that's going to make them feel good, make them feel confident. And I think that's so awesome about what you guys do. And it doesn't come at the expense of yourself and your own goals. And when those things are done well, like both parties are elevated. So I just really wanted people to catch that, because I think that's a foundational key of having a successful business. And then the other thing that I really wanted to point out was when you guys were ready, you were willing to take the risk to invest in yourself and figure out ways to leverage your own time. And so one way you've done that is through implementing a tool that is just giving you the ability to amplify your message and really leverage your time, so you're not manually sending invoices over email. So why don't you just speak to that a little bit? And you're more than welcome to share numbers. I think it's really encouraging and tangible when people hear that. But wherever you guys want to go from here, like, how do you guys think about leveraging your time? How do you think about, kind of growing things to the next level?
Well, I don't think people realize their talents. And Katie, of course, like, she is talented in the areas that matter most, which is the buying, the pricing and all the different things. And then when we're doing manual invoicing, I'm just sitting here watching her waste the time, waste the money that could be going to getting more clothes and more clothes. And so I think that's something that finding value in yourself and trying to figure out the smartest way to go about that.
I have like, when you said that, it actually,
because you had a hard time letting go of so many things. And I have to tell her, you've got to let go, and you've got to let the system work.
Absolutely. Totally. When you were talking, my brain was just all these thoughts. And I think it's one of the biggest things. And again, like I said, I'm in all these Facebook owner groups, and it's something I see over and over again that people are talking about, where they don't want to give up control of this, of that. For me, at the beginning, I hand wrote my shipping labels.
Oh, man.
Because I wanted to make sure they were correct. And Johnny's like, Katie, print the shipping labels. Like, what are you doing? And so I am thankful that I had a partner to constantly, that's obviously the very beginning, to point out these errors that I was making where I was trying to control things. Up until we were doing, I think we were still doing about 100,000 a month. I was still packing orders.
Wow.
Because I was such a control freak. This is my baby. And I think so many small business owners understand that thought process, where this is your baby. I don't want a single item going out incorrectly. I don't want the packaging to look messy. Everything reflects on my business. And when I was reminded, and it was our comment soul strategist and Johnny that were like, you have no business packing orders, Katie.
Totally.
Show another person how you like it done. They can duplicate that. You know, they can fold the tissue like you do. You know, that's not proprietary to you, but you purchasing items for your store, that's what you do. And so that was such, you know, and again,
but it's still going on today.
I know.
There's things that are happening that we're like, Katie wants to open the boxes. And I'm like, why are you opening the boxes? when we're bringing in this much, why would you ever want to open the boxes and price them and name them? There's no reason.
And I think that's a huge thing that all business owners have to get to the point where you let go of the things you can let go of. Get the help you need, because you will not grow on your own. And I remember somebody telling me, I don't know who it was, but they're like, if it cannot be duplicated, it cannot grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was something that I had to, you have to just let it go. You can't manually pack the orders. You can't handwrite it with a heart and make it all cutesy. You can't do it. You've got to get help. You've got to be able to let go of the things that other people can help you with. And that is something that as you learn, you'll watch yourself grow. You're like, oh, I gave that up, and look at it go.
Yeah.
Look at it flourish.
I want to ask something specifically, and feel free to give like as straight up as an answer as you'd like. So in the online world, we're a marketing agency, and we're blessed and privileged enough to be working together with you guys. But a lot of people are in your shoes where they're like, you know, if I maintain control of this certain area of my business, I get more profit. I get to just keep control, and that feels comfortable. But it kind of comes at times at the expense of like hitting your next phase of growth. And so in this relationship specifically, where you're like, I might get help with some marketing, might hire an agency. What did you need to see to be able to like, because I think it's important. There's a lot of service providers, a lot of agencies who are like promising the world and in a lot of ways delivering garbage. And I think that's an intimidating thing to like know how to go about picking an agency. So just curious, again, I'm not like looking for a compliment, but real feedback, like what was okay.
We both have things to say. We're both like, but yeah, go first.
I think the biggest thing, we were so scared to do this and put money down towards this.
Totally.
Because I've heard so many nightmare stories with so many ad companies, marketing companies, that the results just aren't working.
Yep.
But I think the biggest thing for me, and when it actually started clicking, was when we looked at our new signups.
Mm-hmm.
Our new signups, is this what you're gonna say now?
Nope.
Our new signups on Comment Sold, I think 80% of them came from the website. We don't push the website.
Yeah.
Oh no, the app. Was it the app or the website?
No, it was the website.
Yeah, it was the website.
No,
like,
we don't even
talk about the website.
Yeah.
No one discusses the website in our company. It's not a thing that we do. We talk about the app. We talk about Facebook groups. But the only funnel that was hitting the website was you guys and the ads. And of course, I get my weekly numbers from Melissa. I get all that. And it looks great. But I think that was the first trigger that I was like, we don't talk about the website. We don't do anything. And 80% of our new signups on Comment Sold was coming from the website. And that's when you guys trigger the links are going straight to the website.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the thing in my head. I was like, and Shannon, our Comment Sold rep was like, why are you guys getting so many people to your website? And I was like,
yeah, that was the funny thing is we didn't even realize it on our phone. Like you guys send all these great numbers. That's awesome. But when a different party that has nothing to do with you says, what is this coming from? And she recognizes it. This is all she does is work for Comment Sold and work for all the different boutiques. And when she says, oh my gosh, your ads are pumping all of your new signups, that's where this is coming from. I mean, that to us is like, that
was absolutely
okay, well, that's something we could have done on our own. But to kind of go back to answer your question from my point of view, for me, I think once you start to let go of different things and try different things, we actually hired a different ad company before you guys. He did things very differently, and it was a nightmare, a complete and total nightmare. Totally. And thankfully, I think everything is a learning curve. I love every bad thing you can learn from, is how we view life. And so that was a terrible situation. We saw y'all's ads, Shopanova's ads, all the time popping up, and I'm like, these guys are like so cool and nice, and they
get our how we do business. Right. They understood that
because we had hired an ad company that was not based on boutiques and small businesses. It was just a general ad company, and so to see that you guys were niched towards us, I was like, you know what? Like, I believe that ads are working. I've seen people talk about it, but we've got to get the right people that know us and know what we need. And so we were like, you know what, let's try. And just seeing the difference in the way that your company handles things is night and day, because you get our business, you get what we need, what the ads need to be drawn to. And so, it's one of those risks, again, just like getting your first warehouse. It's a risk, to spend money, but risks come with rewards. So.
And one thing I want to make abundantly clear to people is that we are nothing without you guys, and we would not be able to get any results without equal participation. And I think when people are looking at a relationship where they're bringing on either somebody to run their marketing in-house, or hire a freelancer, or hire an agency, the the world says that like this person is going to come and solve all your problems. They're going to take everything off your plate and make your dreams come true. And that's not how it is. The only way that relationships like this work is if both parties actually care what's going on and have those open loops of feedback, open lines of communication. And the only reason we're able to help you guys out in any way, shape, or form is because you guys are showing up every single day doing your job in a super excellent way and giving us stuff to work with. And so it's a very collaborative thing. And I just think people need to realize that you can't go and hire somebody and expect them to solve all your problems. Like there's equal participation. And the reason you guys are where you are today is because you show up and actually do the work. So maybe just to bring this whole thing home, where are you guys today and what's next for Apple Boulevard?
So we're in an 11,000 square foot warehouse. We have 3,000 square feet of that is an actual boutique. Dang. So that we can do our local pickups.
We have 11 employees.
We have 11 employees.
And then I don't know if we're allowed to talk numbers, but we just finished our biggest month ever, September, which we ended up at 700,000 for the month,
yes.
Which is
That's
crazy.
so awesome, you guys.
Like, yeah, we look at the numbers and we're like, that's insanity.
That's so cool, you guys.
But we also think long term, and we got this building, and we almost feel like we're slowly starting to outgrow it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually working with a commercial realtor or whatever, and we're actually looking. I mean, I think 30,000 to 50,000 square feet is next. I have no idea, but that's kind of where we're going.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's it.
Guys,
the sky's the limit.
That is so awesome. Did you ever imagine like that's where you would be 10 years ago when you're going out of trucks?
No. When we first joined Shopify, I'll never forget this. I think about it all the time, actually. They would send out these like this is something that another company's doing. Like, you can do this too. And they sent this boutique out and they're like, they did 100,000 last month. And I looked at Johnny and I was like, that's a lie. Like, they're lying. Like, why would they send that out? That's not even possible. And it was such a far-fetched idea to me. And I think about it all the time because I'm like, who knows? Like that's the great thing about, e-commerce is there is no limit. We're at the beginning, I feel like, and when you make good partnerships that take you to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do anything. So, I mean, I'm just thankful that we pulled the trigger, A, on Comment Sold, and then B, on you guys, and that's what's taken us to the next level, honestly. So.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, where well, everyone, I hope you feel like super encouraged by their story, because it's real people doing real things. And like Katie just said, like, she probably didn't think that was even possible. Thought something that was a fraction of where she's at now was actually a lie. And so just really want to encourage you guys in your journey. Where can people go to find you and your wonderful clothes and join the movement?
They can go to the website shopapple.blvd.com. You can search us on the App Store, Apple BLVD.
Yeah, the app is definitely the best way to shop.
Yeah,
our
always.
website's also pretty great, but the app is definitely the way. You get notifications, you get all the newest items go there first.
And if you're in Frisco, in the Rail District, Frisco, Texas, the Rail District, we have a beautiful store.
Yeah.
So we don't push it much, but it's amazing.
Awesome. Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up and just sharing a little bit about your story. I think the listeners will have massive value in hearing some of that. And yeah, here's to you guys hitting that next benchmark, which is probably $1 million a month and beyond.
Don't say it. I know. It's
so
crazy.
awesome.
It's crazy. So thank you.
Cool, you guys. Thank you so much.